Boom, and we are on. So I had to actually do. For some fucking reason, I thought your name was Adam because of your
admin. Yeah.
Because I just had a full dyslexic moment, and I was like, "Oh, his name's Adam." And I was like, no, that says admin." So I'd lose. It's Jason, isn't it?
Jace. Yep.
Jason Kennedy.
No, Spencer.
Jason Spencer.
Yep.
From Banana Boogie.
Yep.
The best bakery in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Is that official?
Well, it's not really official, but it's likely winning a few.
I was going to say you've won a shitload of awards though, eh?
Yeah, this last year was a big year.
Was it best vanilla slice?
No, we got third in the country.
Third in the country.
We last time we placed was 2016, and we got second in the country. So it's been a few years between drinks, but we made it back onto the podium, which I was really happy about.
And how long have you had Banana Boogie?
2015.
So
nine years this year, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's a long... And was it always... Obviously, it was never what it is now?
No, we bought a bakery called Bruce's Traditional Belair Bakery.
Yeah.
We were selling banana bread out of an old Chrysler that I inherited from my grandpa. It looked like a banana, so we were doing that, and it was just pumping every weekend. Brighton High School, Marion Sports Centre, and it just got bigger and bigger, and everyone's like, you need to buy a bakery. One of the flour reps is like, there's a bakery for sale in Belair. I went up there and I'm like, I have to get this.
It's a killer spot too.
Killer spot. The area, they've got disposable income, you know what I mean? They don't mind dropping $100 on a Saturday morning on bakeries.
Yeah, right.
So.
And your pies aren't that expensive though. when I did that pie video, I went to I think like 7 bakeries. And yours was not the most expensive.
No. It's better to sell more of a product and get people turnover than selling less because it's so expensive and people cringe at.
What did I have? I had the pulled pork pie. I was fucking devo. The jalapeno popper one wasn't there. It looks so good.
And that morning you came was the actual day that we got best sausage roll in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, so that day with the pulled pork pie got second best for gourmet pie and SA. So.
Was that just your normal sausage? Was that just your standard sausage roll? Because you do like a cheese and jalapeno one.
Yeah, we do a cheese and jalapeno one that goes off. But
I had that. That was fucking dope.
The traditional one is, yeah.
And so on top of all this, you've started up we'll drop it all now so people early on in the podcast can hear it, because some people drop off. You are starting up a business called Pie God, or a separate entity to Banana Boogie?
Oh, it's still part of Banana Boogie. It's just that we are going to use that location to have a pie restaurant there 2 nights a week, Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Along with our deep fried vanilla slice that I've been working on for the last year.
So that will be out of that business as well.
It's all out of Banana Boogie. We're going to have a DJ playing every Friday, Saturday night. We're just in the middle of getting a liquor license up there, so it'll be good place to hang on a Friday, Saturday night.
No shit.
Eat some gourmet pies and have a beer.
What was like the inspiration between Pie God? Like
what?
Because no one's ever done that. I don't think anyway.
No, well,
if you want to elaborate on it.
When I started doing the research on Pie God, I actually found out that there's something in the UK called Pie Minister.
Yeah.
And they do gourmet pies like the normal pie and just turn it into something extravagant. Like we do the pie burger where it's instead of a meat patty, it's got a pie inside of it. So
that's like a beef pie.
Meat pie, and then we do the pie me, which is like a chicken schnitzel with a pie on top with the Napoli sauce and cheese and stuff like that. So
the 16-year-old me would be crying right now of excitement to fucking get into some of those. That's going to be sick.
Yeah. So it's just taking the humble pie that everyone in Australia loves and just turning it into more of a meal.
Yeah, right. And deep fried vanilla slice, where I've looked at those on your story. That's not open yet, is it, either?
Well, we did a little bit of trialling at the beginning of end of last year just to see how it was working, and we're happy with what we've done in the way of turning a vanilla slice into something deep fried. You're
fitting a lot. The kitchen there is actually pretty big. It's all what you can see from the outside. Is that all of it, or is there more of it?
Well, we're like in a little L-shaped section of the shop up there, and it started off when we brought it. We had one shop 4. Then the butcher in the shopping centre closed down. We took the butcher's shop, and then there was a super deli there, and we took 3/4 of that shop too. So it's
a hell nice setup place.
Yeah.
How many tables can you fit in there?
inside we've got 4 inside, but outside there's like 15, 20. So it'll be more of a summer vibe.
So Pie God will be mainly. Will it be like a more of a seasonal thing? Like, will you stop it in winter? Or
we'll probably still keep it going because we'll just get some heaters and stuff like that out there to warm it
is
up.
the end goal to have it branch off into its like own separate store?
Well, the opportunity is I could franchise something like this out very easily. We control making the pies at Banana Boogie, and people could open up one of these themselves anywhere in Australia.
Yeah, right. No, because you can just do all the baking from one place and just ship it out.
And then they put it together like a Montezuma's does with the what's it called, that Mexican joint?
Sombreros.
Yeah, like what they do. They just buy everything in and then just complete the product.
Yeah, right. If you there's some nice pie shops down south, but if you open up a pie shop down here, they'll go off. South.
When we did the research into opening the Plimpton store, everyone was like, we need a Banana Boogie down south somewhere.
Yeah, down south, but like maybe a bit further south.
Aldinga sort of.
Like Aldinga way, or
maybe.
If you put one in Morphettvale, that'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, Morphettvale would
Morphettvale's a good area. Everyone thinks Morphettvale's a bit dairy, but it's a good area for shit like that because we eat things like that here.
Yeah.
We like good pies and shit.
Yeah, Morphettvale would be... I could see it working in Morphettvale.
And nothing's cheap anymore. Like, shopping and eating for yourself. Before you came, I went to Drake's down the road and I went to go buy just some, like, pork and some salad greens to make food. They didn't even have half the food. A punnet of snow peas was fucking $9. Like, for 100 grams of snow peas. And I was like, what the fuck? I'd be better off just going to a cafe.
It's not worth cooking at home anymore.
No, it's not. It's fucked. Do you cook a lot at home? Because you said off the air that you started off as a chef, so you obviously enjoy cooking.
Yeah, I love being in the kitchen and stuff like that. My wife, when we first got together, she cooked something for me. And I'm like, you're never cooking ever again.
Yeah.
So I've taken that and yeah.
So yeah, you actually...
every day I'll cook. I love cooking.
And you can tell that with the ingredients. The only other, like the fillings in your pies, they're actually flavoured like someone who knows how to cook.
Yeah.
Because not a lot, I won't say a lot, but you can tell when you go to a bakery and the person is a baker, they're not like, they don't really have a chef bone in them.
That culinary experience of, spicing things up.
Like the seasonings.
Getting the right amount of salt and stuff like that, not going too far, that's a big part in it.
So when you grew up, you left school early to do an apprenticeship? Yeah,
left at the end of year 10 and just went and did like a cooking course and then did another cooking course pre-apprentice and did a couple of years as a chef. I'm like, nah, don't like this. My mum saw in the local rag that there was a job for a baker in Lonsdale and I went down there, did a trial shift. The guy was like, you look like a baker, you've got the job.
You look like a baker.
You look like a baker. I don't know what a baker looks like. Yeah, so he gave me the job and I kept hounding him to do an apprenticeship, but he wouldn't give me one. And he's like, you won't be here that long. I was there for 7 years.
Yeah, right.
So
you finished your apprenticeship and everything?
Yeah, I had to put myself through doing an apprenticeship. So I'd go to TAFE once a week for 2.5 years. So.
Do you reckon you even need the papers anymore?
Nah, not at all. If someone comes for a job with me, I'm not going to look at their paper. I want to see what you can do. Like,
it's a bit of an old thing now, isn't it? Like, you can go... I did my apprenticeship at this place called Osteria, and I obviously had to go to TAFE, like, once a year. I did blocks, like you do 2 weeks for this or 1 week for this, like just your units. And the shit you learn there is so fucking dated, like butter sculptures and shit. It's like, what the fuck's the point of this?
Stuff you're not going to use anywhere.
Unless I'm specialising in, like, chocolatiering or something like that. This is fucking useless information for me.
Yep.
I don't want to learn how to make chicken a la king. Like, what the fuck?
Who's got that on their menu?
And they still probably teach the same, like, criteria as they did when I was going.
My apprentice comes back from TAFE now and he'll be like, the lecturer will go grab something out thinking that was his, and my apprentice was like, no, that's mine, because he's better than most of the lecturers at TAFE.
You learn from work, way more.
Yeah.
The kids that excel in, like, say if they go to Regency but then they work in a terrible restaurant, like, they never end up doing anything really, because you're better off going to a good restaurant, because you'll be better than the lecturer. Like you said, you'll be better than the lecturer by your second, third year.
Yeah, easily. Even previous apprentices that I had, they're all like, you're better than anyone we get through.
Well, according to social media, every fucking second person now is a chef.
Oh, really?
just seeing some of the reels of like the people that are famous on Instagram and they have food accounts and shit, and they don't know how to use a knife, and they just do the fast edits, and it's like, fuck, you just like, and everyone's got an opinion on food.
Yeah,
now.
That's what really annoys me sometimes. It's like you've got an opinion about something, but you've got no idea what's going on
like
to make it.
Google fucking reviews and shit. They get so nasty on Google.
Yeah, some people. Yeah, you're just like, wow, you need some help.
What's your favourite one you've got?
We got a weird one once about the number plates we had, or like because me and my wife had one car was vanilla, the other car was sliced.
And they put a review
and they
on
put a review, how stupid are you? I'll be going to the bakery down the road because, okay, buddy.
And your bakery is very close to another bakery, and you're both pretty busy.
Yeah, Ackerman's is up the road, yeah.
Ackerman's?
Yeah, and then there's Coro that's down in Coromandel.
Are you close to Pick a Pie?
No, Meadows is a bit far. That's about 15, 20.
Because I remember when I did the pie video, I thought it was way further away. So I smashed the whole pie, Pick a Pie, because they actually do nice pies. I thought it wasn't going to be as nice as it was because it's more of a franchise.
Yeah.
But it was nice. But then I was like, fuck, we're already here. I thought it was like ages away. But there's heaps of pies, like heaps of bakeries around there.
Yeah, Pick a Pie's a good bakery. His dad used to have one down on Beach Road, across the road from the OTR there. And when I was doing my apprenticeship, I used to go in and hassle him out about giving me an apprenticeship.
Yeah, right. Well, across the road from where the OTR is.
Yeah, you know that little group of shops in there? Yeah, there used to be a bakery just
really?
there where the car yard is.
That would have been years ago, eh?
Oh, like years ago, 98, 90, 97.
What's your favourite pie? Because you obviously would have favourite bakeries.
Not really. Yeah.
Banana Boogie.
Banana Boogie, yeah. All day.
Yeah. I've when I went on that pie episode, the only one that I was like, fuck, this is nice as well, was Para Hills Hot Bread Bakery.
Yep.
That lady's a wizard, man.
Yeah.
With her, but you can tell, same as you, she obviously knows how to cook. Because her fillings are wild.
Yeah, and that's the people that win the pie competitions. They're normally, have a bit of culinary experience with, flavours and stuff like that. And it's like, how come they always win? Well,
because she's putting shit like crayfish,
so he knows.
Pie.
Yeah, they're doing all this crazy shit, like
tom yum pies and fucking scallop pies. It's really good.
Yeah, and all these pie comps, like people always, there's always a pie competition and stuff, but it does help you learn. And from 8 years ago when we were getting bronzes and silver medals to now getting best meat pie in Australia last year, you just get that feedback, and it really does help your business because. If you're winning that, people are coming. You're obviously making something good,
and it makes you better because the competition's good.
That's right. Like we've got hot cross bun in 2 weeks. We won it last year after taking so many years to get it. We finally got it, and if I get it this year, I get it. But
I fucking hate hot cross buns, eh?
I fucking hate them too.
I hate sultanas.
In food.
I don't know why I hate bread
and
with it.
Every time I got interviewed, like 5AA rang me last year, and they're like, "What goes into the best hot cross bun in Australia?" I'm like, I don't fucking know because I hate them. Give me a fucking choc chip one any day.
Yeah, choc chip. Choc chip is where it's at.
I hate finger buns, all that shit. Sultanas in food, no good.
Although, if like someone brings me if there is a hot cross bun and someone toasts it and puts like a kilo of butter on it, I'll eat it. Yeah. But the choc chip, and there's so much politics with hot cross buns in Australia about when you should release
them. Yeah, everyone whinging.
When do you release them? It's supposed to be like a week before, 2 weeks before.
It's meant to be 2 weeks before, but because we won last year, and it's the sort of competition that if you do win it, you've only got 5 weeks to utilise it, as where if you win best sausage roll in Australia, you've got one whole year. So we came back this year and we're like, fuck it, we're going to start selling them, and they sell out every day, so why would I not make them? And it's the same with Coles and Woolies. They wouldn't be making them if they weren't making money off it, and people are whinging.
People crack the shit. That's how you know we live in like probably one of the best and safest countries in the world, because people have the time to worry about fucking
when hot cross buns are coming out.
I just fucking hate them. Do you always, so you obviously have your core like pies and shit?
Yep.
But how often do you add a new pie, or do you do specials every week or month or something?
We try to, and then we get some good feedback on what's good. We just did a good nacho pie the other day, and that's getting a bit of good feedback. That's how we sort of do add things to the menu and take things off. We'll go, okay, well that's not selling as well as it used to, or try something else. And
have you had a pie on that you're like, you just visioned in your head and you just made it and you're like, this is fucking terrible? Like, this is just shit.
Never normally gets to the point where you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, that's bad, because you sort of know what you're doing.
Without
after a while.
selling
Without
it, though.
selling it. Oh, nah, we'll always give it a... Because, you know, some people like shit that other people
Yeah.
fucking hate, so it's hard sometimes.
Did you fish like a tuna pie?
Yeah, we do a tuna mornay, and it's fucking
See, I
rad.
fucking love tuna mornay.
Our tuna mornay pie, you will not find a better one in Adelaide.
No.
Everyone that has it, they're like, fuck, that's the best tuna pie.
Not many places do them. I fucking love tuna pies.
Oh, they're fucking easy to make. Fucking couple of cans of tuna with a bit of corn.
Was the pastry the hardest thing for you to get going? Because your pastry's nice.
Yeah, our pastry is top notch, and we use the highest quality, you know, flour, fat, everything. So you start with the good shit.
Is yours like a fat based one, like not butter, or is yours?
Nah, no. But people always you just use butter and stuff like that. But we live in Australia where it's, you know, minimum temperatures 20 degrees, and it's too hard to make any pastry unless
you got your
refrigerated room
yeah.
where you're doing butter croissants and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, right.
So it's all margarine. So
Yeah, well, fucking, like you said, you'd need to put 4 fucking air cons in your shop just to work with butter.
Just to work with butter. So
it's too hard on like not a commercial scale, probably.
yeah, that's right. So.
Did you have all of your recipe? How long of a process was it to get Banana Boogie on, like, because every business when they start to fucking shamble. How many years did social media play a big part in it? Because your social media is fucking always on it.
Yeah, well, when we brought the bakeries the same time that Shit Adelaide started popping.
Oh.
So I think,
Really?
and I'm pretty sure that someone in Shit Adelaide is from Belair.
All right.
Because they came up when we got Vanilla Slice, then, you know, they were just sharing our stuff all the time, and it just sort of got the followers, and everyone was interested in what we were doing. So
Yeah, because you're pretty, like, culturally, like, you're a hip hop head. You're like, you're not really a typical, like, you wouldn't picture you owning a high end, like, really high end bakery. Yeah. Even though the tattoos and shit, that's normal. But just that's like your chilled out vibes and shit. Usually people in that position are a bit more.
I love giving that sort of, you know, vibe to people where they're like, you know, what's this dude do? Like, questioning what I am or what I do, and then when you're like, oh, Banana Boogie, you're like, oh, holy shit.
You're a massive hip hop head. If people didn't know.
Yes, I've probably got one of the biggest hip hop record collections on the planet, probably. Vinyl, yeah.
Vinyls come back so hard.
Yeah, it's sort of good, but it sort of sucks
you're
because
like, fuck, it's harder to get them now.
All the older shit that I got in the 90s, that's worth fucking massive loot now, but everything you buy now, it's like, oh, fucking one record's $100, you know what I mean? Like, as where 10 years ago, one record would be $40.
What would you say is your, like, most expensive record you own?
I've got 2 copies of West Side Gun Fly God, and I think that they were going for about 10 grand each.
$10,000?
10,000.
Are they opened?
Yes, they're open.
But good condition,
they're
obviously.
In good condition.
Do you play them?
Yeah, I'll play them, yeah. All my records I play, like...
Does it diminish them?
It can, but I'm not there to sell the records. I'm there to enjoy the
$10,000.
$10,000. I'll put, like, some of the West Side Gun records I've got, I reckon I'd have at least 150 grand worth of records.
Really?
Yeah, I sort of got onto it as he was creeping up, and like I was buying 10 or 15 copies of a record that...
Were you buying it? Are these ones you found when you were older, or did you get
these are all recent time? Yeah, at the recent, like, when... And it sells out in seconds, all these
really?
Records. Yeah, it's crazy. Like Benny the Butcher, one of his records goes for $1,200. I've probably got 12 copies of it.
My dad has an original Jimi Hendrix record. I don't know how much it would be worth, though.
Lots of pressing. It's a pretty popular record. Same with those Beatles ones. It just depends on special pressing. Yeah, the editions and what country it was pressed in.
Do you think it actually sounds better?
Record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you an audio kind of guy? You like good audio?
Yeah, I like
shit?
my good audio. Yeah.
Obviously, you're a producer.
Got good speakers. Got high-end needles, turntables. Yeah.
See, I've never sat down and listened to like a. Do you put headphones on?
No. Just cranking them through the speakers.
Yeah, right. No shit. There's some people get really into fucking audio.
Oh yeah. Like even the cords that connect from.
I've seen ones that are made of gold or like shit, and they're like $4,000 or $5,000 a cord. And there's this thing I watched on YouTube of this dude who has like $120,000 speaker, and then he's got like a $30,000 amp, and he's got his room set up.
But you'd love to compare that to an MP3. You know what I mean? An MP3 through something else to see if it is really worth that money.
Well, like they say, I don't know. I used to have a pair of Beats, but I don't think Beats are like the epitome of good audio. I think it was just branded really well. That's why they were so expensive. I don't know.
Yeah.
They sounded good to me, but they didn't sound any better than my AirPods, really. But I imagine that Beats just had really good marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was a nice design.
Yeah, they look good. They sounded relatively good too.
You're probably fucking dying at the audio in this shed right now because of that. It sounds like an airplane in here.
Yeah.
It doesn't bleed through there as much.
No.
But so you were producing for like rappers when you were younger?
Yeah, when I was younger, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know.
Oh.
You were either a surfy dude that played footy, or you were one of the hip hop dudes that was out riding every weekend, you know.
And you did tracks for people like Monops and shit?
Monops. The stuff I'm more proud of, and like I'm really proud of, would probably be some of the early Dialect stuff. When he first came out, did his first EP and then another album after that.
Have you heard? Do you deal with Adam from Westside Mushrooms?
No, but he's hit me up about getting some mushrooms to do like some special mushroom pies.
I was going to say, because this will actually be out. I did an episode with him.
Yeah, I saw it the other day, yeah.
This will be out after, so I can say it on here. He's doing a show with Brad Strutt.
Yeah.
And he's doing it at his Mushy Lair. He's doing it's like an intimate performance with Brad Strutt, and it's a 4-course degustation menu from 4 chefs in Adelaide.
Oh wow, that'll be wicked.
Yeah, but it's all like, there's no stage. He's like just going to be rapping amongst, like walking through the crowd and shit.
Oh, killer. That'll be dope. Yeah.
I think it's going to be $100 and you can get tickets from his page.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Brad's a good dude. Yeah.
His product's so good as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't done it. Do you do a mushroom pie?
Yeah, we do a mushroom pie. He hit me up on the email with some special mushroom that he suggested would be good for a good vegan pie. So.
Oh, because you got your
vegan bakery as well.
Is that a separate premises?
Yeah, that's down at North Plimpton, but there is Banana Boogie down there as well.
That would have been a learning curve.
Yeah, changing up from, everything having meat or dairy into doing something that is totally opposite. So.
Do you reckon you've got it down to like almost as good, the pastry and stuff?
Well, a lot of the pastry that we use for
is vegan anyway.
So like the puff pastry is vegan for both of them. So
I guess the fillings wouldn't be too hard either. It'd just be the fillings and stuff wouldn't be too hard to figure out. It'd be
just
more
changing like a beef to a cauliflower or something like that.
And vegan shit's expensive.
It's expensive, but they don't want to buy it.
Vegan products, like the actual products to buy in bulk, would be insane.
The like coconut oil and everything that we use to go in some of the stuff we make, the cost of it is.
I'm just gonna turn that fridge off because it'll stay cold, but it's fucking. I always leave it on by accident. Oh, that sounds so much better. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with that, but yeah. So when did you start the vegan project?
We purchased that off some other people that own that in 2021, I reckon.
So that was established. You just kind of took it over and refined it.
They were doing some stuff at another bakery, and we came along and they offered it to us to buy, and we said, yeah, we'll give it a go, because there was some stuff in that business that I wanted to get so I could utilise for Banana Boogie.
Don't you get fucking tired?
No,
smashing it.
Just smash it. My wife is like, you need to just chill. Like, there's no chill with.
Your wife is
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah, she works at the shop.
I believe she served me when I went in. I think
Kimberly, which is her sister. Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a family. I've got my sister-in-law working there and my nephew working there. So.
Do you have children?
Yes, one daughter.
Gonna be a baker?
Probably not.
Probably not. Would you, if she wanted to, would you be happy with it?
Whatever she does.
You're happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Whether she wants to or she doesn't, this is my dream to do baking. So.
If I had a son and he wanted to be a chef, I'd clip him behind the fucking ears. Like, you're going to uni or getting a trade.
She's doing some singing and learning how to write music and stuff like that.
How old?
She's 15.
Yeah, right.
So I'm trying to push her into the musical direction that I sort of, was having fun with, but try and make a career out of it.
There's heaps more avenues now with music as well. Yeah. Like, you don't need labels and shit anymore. You just need a good TikTok.
You just need to be good.
And like, or not even that. A lot of the people that get famous aren't even good.
It's like average music.
So if you are actually good, it's such a advantage now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you fuck with modern music a lot?
Yeah, I love
Yeah, we were just talking off camera about Kanye's new album,
Yeah.
and you listened to it just before.
Yeah, I did Kanye. As long as the music's good, I'll listen to it. Whether it's underground hip hop or mainstream hip hop, as long as it's sounding good and the bars are on point. Well, yeah.
But Kanye's album, what are you going to give it?
Oh, I've only given it, a 2-3 hour listen. I'll probably give it maybe 5 or 6 and see how I come back. I find that with a lot of his albums, you go back and you're like, wow, like that Life of Pablo album from Kanye.
Do you like it?
I think it is probably his best album.
I listened to it once and I never really picked it back up.
I think he went back to...
Did you just say it's his best album?
It's his best album.
You're full of shit.
No way. Yeah, Life of Pablo. Yeah, the way he went back to sampling and the way that the beats and everything on that album had Mad Lib, stuff like that. It was top tier.
Yeah, see,
and it took a while. Like I listened to it, and I'm like, it's an okay album. I love Yeezus as well. That's top tier for me.
Did you mark that over Graduation and Homecoming?
Yep.
Really?
Definitely.
That's interesting.
I remember driving to see Joey Badass in 2013 in Melbourne. That's when Yeezus came out, and we listened to it on the drive over to Melbourne. It was like, wow, this is next level.
Yeah, right.
Just that industrial sound, just how you can just...
He is, I never used to like Kanye's music, but then one of my mates, when he was alive, used to fucking be obsessed with him. He was like, he is literally, before Kanye went like a bit loopy, he even was like, this dude is like a genius. Like musically, he's a freak. Yeah. And I was like, no, I just don't see it. But then, like you said, if you listen back to things of Kanye, you're like, oh. Wow. And then his documentary came out.
That was amazing.
I was like, I was blown away. But I was more blown away at the bloke who took a chance and was like, this dude's going to be something, and just followed him. Yeah. Like, what other person has that happened to?
But they must have known when they met, like, holy shit, this dude is
next level
different to everyone else around.
But he dedicated like a big chunk of his life to just following this dude he didn't know around,
and it might not have popped as well. So they were lucky. But just seeing that old footage,
it's such a Kanye thing to have like someone just following you around when you're not as famous as, like, you weren't Kanye yet. Yeah. It's just insane, and he is.
I don't know. I've been seeing that a lot with a lot of rappers, like that they sort of know that they're gonna be big. Like, I don't know if it's like that.
I feel like it's easier now though, because you can just record yourself on your phone. Like, do you know? It's not.
You've got bars and you've got.
It's a lot. It's a lot easier to document things now than back then, I reckon, because that would have been what, late 90s.
Yep, late 90s. Yeah.
Late 90s. So that would have been a fucking headache carrying around a big ass fucking camera. It's not like you got a 4K camera in your pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
But there is a lot of rappers now that just. There is some good. I really like the Texas rap scene at the moment.
I've always loved Texas. I love that southern
soul.
Like
that Big X the Plug. Have you heard him? Big X the Plug, real thick dude. Looks kind of like, even has like a similar vocal tone to Biggie. Okay. Like kind of a deeper voice with like a block, like a nasally. Like, he sounds similar-ish. Yeah. And that Mexican OT. Yeah. He's a fucking weapon. He's got a really good flow. Yeah. But I do not fuck with rap as hard as I used to when I was younger. I like more metal now.
Metal stuff, yeah, I can get into that.
Yeah, it was just that, like, 2015 to, like, 2020 era where there was just not, in my opinion, not the best music coming out.
Yeah, we sort of had that, like, end of the 90s, beginning of 2000s, there was not a lot of good hip-hop.
Yeah,
it was just all like this happy, real positive vibe stuff that was...
It was more R&B focused in the early 2000s and shit. It was a lot of R&B was thriving.
Yeah, and I found it came sort of back with Rock Marciano, 2010, sort of that real stripped-back hip-hop with just samples and no beats and stuff and just real raw bars.
Did you listen to Monop's new album?
I haven't listened to the new one, no.
I don't know if it was a mistake or something, but he said my name in one of them. So I was like, Manners rang me and he was like, oh, you got to mention on the tracks, and I was like, you're joking. I was like, you are joking. I want to message the cunt and ask for royalties. And I just quickly went on Bandcamp. Shout out to Monops if you haven't gone and got his new album yet. Go on Bandcamp and suss it out. It's really good. And there's this song, DCM, Don't Come Monday, I think it's called. I think it's DCM. And at the start, there's like a monologue between a boss telling the worker to go get fucked, basically. And he's like, Sav told me this. And I was like, that's my claim to fame. It's my claim. I've never been in a song. Did you ever rap or just produce?
No, just produced.
Really?
Yeah.
You never like written some cheeky bars or something?
I did and recorded it, and all the boys were like, "Shit, you should rap," but I can't handle the sound of my voice. I'm gonna hear this shit and go. Oh,
I don't listen back to my podcast because anyone who likes the sound of their voice to me is fucking a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like singing's different, rapping's different because that's an art form. But if you can listen to an own podcast of yourself, you like and enjoy it. Like whenever you talk, be like, oh yeah, like sexy. You're a fucking psycho.
I hate it.
Do you like? Obviously, you got the best area to work in. Fucking nice spot up there.
Yes, yeah.
It's a nice spot.
Yeah, it's nice up there.
Bit bougie.
Yeah, it's a quick 15 minutes. That's the other thing I love baking for is no traffic, you know what I mean?
That's another
Driving
thing.
up there, I drove from my house to here and I was ready to get out and box cunts. It's like, what are you doing?
You don't live that far away as well.
No, and I'm like, so holy shit, fucking Marion Road.
Traffic must have been bad.
I just can't deal with it.
Oh, if I was telling I drove this bloke I had on the podcast last week, Adam Jacques. He's a jiu-jitsu dude from Perth, and I took him to the airport to go back to Perth.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was the smallest amount of traffic, like 4 cars would have been in front of me at the lights, and I was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I was like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't go past, if I go past Marion, that's far. Like, yeah. If I have to get on the expressway, that's a fucking mission for me.
Pack lunch.
In Adelaide, it's fucking like 30 minutes is a long drive here. Yeah. I don't want to be in the car for 30
took the Chrysler down to Aldinga Beach from my house the other day.
You still got the Chrysler?
I've got a couple of Chryslers, and we took the dog down there, and like, I'm driving down there, I'm like, I've got employees that live in Aldinga, I'm like, how the fuck do they drive?
That's at least a nice drive.
Yeah, but still, every day, to and from work, fucking 35, 40 minutes.
I used to have to drive to Glen Osmond Road, like to my first job when I was 16, and then I used to have to drive to the city when I worked at Jolly's, but I had a V8 when I worked at Glen Osmond Road, so I'd cut the trip down. I lost my licence 2 times, but I cut the trip down really fine. But there was nothing worse than getting up in the morning and driving to the fucking city.
Yeah.
Like, that will make you want to kill someone.
I don't know how people do it. Dude. You just see the cars on Marion Road. Holy shit.
If I lived in like Yankalilla and I had to drive to Morphettvale, that's still the same distance. It's further, but it's a better drive. Way better drive. Yeah. I don't know how people even live down the fucking hill. Yeah. I don't like. You live down the hill. You were born up here though?
Yeah, I'm no longer. Yeah. No longer down in Morphettvale.
And you've moved down the hill.
And then my grandfather passed away, so we brought their house down near Glenelg. So
you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I just drove from the expressway here because I grew up just off Elizabeth Road there, just looking at the old hood. Every house is either red brick or red roof. It's crazy.
This is a proper fucking Morphettvale house here. Yeah. But so if you cross the road, that's Hackham.
Yes.
This is the crux.
Yeah, you're right on the edge.
But do you enjoy when you moved? It's a nice area though. That's like prime fucking position. There's good food everywhere. And close to the city. It's not too.
When I bought my first house, we lived in Morphettvale, just on Brodie Road. So we were on the crux.
You're on Brodie.
Yeah, just off of Brodie Road. We were right near on the border of the expressway there. Christie's /
We used to live when I was growing up on a street called Glen Helen Road, just off of Brodie Road.
Glen Helen, yes. Who did I know that lived there? I went to school with someone, Jeremy Hopwood.
So my granddad lived on the dead end of Glen Helen. I lived like 4 or 5 houses down from him. My auntie lived on Brodie Road, and my other auntie lived directly next door to her. So like,
Christmas was easy.
It was a wog affair. There was just wogs everywhere. But it was funny because when I was growing up, the expressway was just dirt.
Dirt, yeah.
And
as a kid walking through there, like, what is this land for?
Like, not a lot of people would know that are young that listen to this podcast. The Southern Expressway was just fucking
grass.
Dirt and grass.
Yeah.
So when we grow up, we just had and then they started building it. And a lot of young ones won't realise this. When they built the fucking expressway, they built it one way.
And then at the end of the night, RAA had to drive through and kick off any cars that were...
Did you ever go down it at the wrong time?
Oh, probably.
I fucking have. Like, it was so dumb. You'd have to, like, quickly... And there was no smartphone, so you'd be like, when does the expressway, like, go on the other way?
12 o'clock or 1 o'clock? Is it daylight savings? Is it shut? Yeah, I know.
What a fucking logistical night. Why would they do that?
Yeah. And it was ridiculous. It was like... When they built it, it was like fucking $10 million. But if they'd done it both ways, it would have been $15 million. But then they did it later and it was like $28 million. It's fucking Jesus.
It's so funny. But yeah, we had the best times.
Yeah, the only place on the planet that had a one-way...
Literally, yeah. So like he said, they had to send an RAA car or a police car down the expressway to make sure no one was coming the other way.
And then they flicked it over.
Meanwhile, Melbourne already had fucking tolls and fucking 20 highways, and that's why everyone gives Adelaide shit, because we do things backwards. Our roads now are good though.
Yeah, it's a lot better now, but fucking back in the 90s, yeah.
I drove to the north the other day, actually, when I say the other day, it was probably a month or two ago. But I can't remember where I drove. I drove pretty far north though, and it took me like, even just getting to Port Adelaide only takes me like less than 40 now, which is insane.
Once they finish that other part of South Road,
what are they doing there now?
I don't know, some tunnel or something. But once you get to Regency, you know what I mean. From there to Gawler, it's
driving to Regency for TAFE was the fucking worst, man, because it was peak hour times.
Peak hour, yeah.
Even driving to Jollies was fucked. But if you left it was weird, because if I left at like 7:50, I'd get there, say at 9 o'clock. But if I left at 7:55, I'd get there 10 minutes earlier.
Yep.
Because you just missed the traffic.
Yeah, and we used to freak through the western suburbs trying to beat so you didn't have to go down fucking South Road.
Oh, it's the worst.
Coming out that way, fuck.
So when did you just said you picked up the decks again and started scratching again?
Yeah, I've always
just
been scratching. Just love
fun?
doing it, but I've started making beats again when I got a computer. And
do you have like I noticed on your thing you got like a little production company, is it?
A little record label called Rolling Pin Records. So we've done the local crew, Stella Mental. We did one of their 7 inches on some of my beats, and then I did a 12-inch with some American rappers like Crime Apple and Danielson, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Released that with another producer from Melbourne.
Where the fuck do you have time to do that?
Make time.
You just got to make it.
You just got to make time.
I guess your daughter's old enough now to kind of...
Yeah, it's just, you just got to, it's work. Like, things will come as long as you work hard. Like,
this thing's a fucking grind and a half. I didn't realise when I started it. I just thought, I knew it was going to be hard, but learning how to use it, because I dropped out as well, like learning how to use a computer was a fucking struggle in its own. Like, I didn't know how to use a computer properly.
Yeah. Well, I was finished school by the time computers were coming through. I was going to
say, there was no
and
fucking...
I've got to use it for all my bookwork and all that shit, so...
And even the production scene would be so different now. Because you can fit all of these... like programs on your computer. You don't need 6 million chords and shit anymore.
Even when I was producing in the early 2000s, the program I'm using now, Logic, it's 90% exactly the same as it was 15 years ago, which is really cool.
Do you have like a production studio at your house?
Yeah. I just did some renos last year and probably got something 3 times the size of this shed built. It's just got records everywhere in there. Yeah.
No, so you got like a full
record room.
Yeah. See, I got this. There's this property that's popped up in Lonsdale that is a 145 square metre warehouse. Someone sent it to me the other day. And it's cheap as fuck. It needs a little bit of TLC, but it's fucking dope. It's got a mezzanine floor. It's got a kitchenette, 2 toilets.
Oh, wow.
It's not the best group of warehouses, but it's fine. Yeah. And someone sent it to me. It's only $300 a week. And I was like, I could use this for a fucking podcast cave and a content factory. And I was gonna build a recording studio for artists to lease out on the mezzanine. Yeah. And downstairs, I was gonna build like a little podcast, because there's a perfect joint for like just a small podcast room, like maybe where the black runs off, it's probably the size of this. It's perfect, and I could soundproof it.
Yeah.
Get good internet, and then the rest of it I could hire out to just people to fucking
do their shit.
Graffiti. Yeah. Like film, like me. I could fit out a wall with a green screen. They can do music videos or fucking photography there. Just shit like that.
$300 a week's pretty cheap.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing. Oh, even if I go halves with some, because if someone wants to store some fucking shit, like a car or something, they give me $100 a fucking week. This $200. That's what. If I quit smoking, that's my smoke. You don't smoke?
I don't smoke.
Never?
I used to.
Sorry, am I triggering you? You're good around them?
I'm fucking fine around them. I can't go back to having them. No. My nana died from emphysema, so watching that was pretty...
How long ago did you quit?
I reckon 07.
Really? That long?
That long. But I was fucking punching ciggies with like mates in school like year 8, year 9.
How long did it take you to quit? Or were you pretty much immediate cold turkey?
Immediate cold turkey, you just went,
That's the only way to do it, isn't it?
You gotta fucking just snap it off.
I've wanted to quit for like 3, 4 years now.
Yeah.
But anytime I get like a
little bit of stress or
anything like that, if not, I'll explode if I don't have smokes. Like, I just fucking explode. I don't know why. I think obviously the added stress of not having the habit to
just something there
to calm me down a bit. Like, I'll just fucking explode at the weirdest shit. Would just piss me off. Yep. Were you irritable for a while?
Oh, I'm always irritable anyway.
You're a baker.
That's fucking it. I have fucking sleep and I'm always fucking angry and they're always like, what's wrong with that cunt? Well, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
So,
but you've got like really good crew at Banana Boogie and...
Yeah, my baking team's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I try to make it a good environment that it makes people want to come to work. You know what I mean? I just want you to do your 8 hours, and I want you to go. And when you go home, that's it. Don't worry about work anymore.
I'm not going to message you.
I never message any employee on their day off or anything, unless it's like an emergency. I need to know some info or something. That's your day off. That's your time off.
You're still actively baking and shit too?
I'm the first one in, and I'm the last one to leave every day.
And that's also good for staff to see that as well.
Yeah, and I'm all about that, leading by example. You know what I mean? You can't be telling people what to do and just kicking back and going, I'm not doing anything. Like, my guys and girls all know that I fucking bust my ass to have a good business that all gives them a job at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And we make it a good place to work. And
so with baking, obviously with chefs, you got like your head chef, your sous chef, commie chefs and shit. Do you have like what would you call like a second in charge?
So, no, not really. Had dramas before where people come in and think they're, as good as me or if not better. So now it's just I'm the chief dog around there, and everyone else we all work together as a team rather than having people in charge as such.
And do you know what? That's when I don't know what kitchens are like now, but I imagine they're very different from when I was fucking in them, because you can tell from just kids don't have the same work ethic anymore, and it's just how it is. Yeah. Like, there is exceptions where there's kids that are machines.
Definitely. My apprentice now, he is a fucking machine.
There's heaps of exceptions, so this isn't all of them, but majority of young kids, they don't want to fucking be in a kitchen or in the back of a bakery for 8 to 12 hours a day. They just don't want to do it. Like, and they don't want to work weekends.
I can't get an apprentice because these 16 to 20-year-old dudes that would normally do them, they can go get a job. Instead of taking the pay cut and going, I'm on $16 an hour for an apprenticeship, they can go to get a job at Bunnings for $30 an hour.
They can go to Telstra and sit in a fucking office for $30 an hour.
They don't realise, the
levels.
The levels. Start off, build it, and then get somewhere,
But when I was in kitchens, like, if my head chef told me to do something I knew was wrong and stupid, I would just do it. Yeah. Because just fucking do it.
If he's told me to do it, I'm going to do it.
If he told me to climb on a chair and try and do a backflip, I'm going to fucking do it. I don't know why he told me to do it. Yeah. But he's paying me fucking like $9 an hour. So I'm going to do it. And that's how much it used to be. Like, yours would have been even lower probably.
Yeah, I can remember. I was the manager of a pizza bar in Hallett Cove and an apprentice baker at the same time. One was giving me $162 a week, and one was giving me $193.
And that's for about 70
hours a week for just under $400.
Yeah, but I was doing when I was my first year, I was doing 50 hours a week for for $280 or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you took that cut and you worked hard, and
It's because like when you're 18, when I was 18 anyway, you didn't need it. Like you didn't need $1,000 a week. Because I would go to work, my biggest expense was petrol and smokes. When I was 16, 17, I used to roll because it was the cheapest option. But you'd buy a 50-gram pouch for like $20, and that would last me the week. And then you eat at the restaurant, and you're not home. Like, you're never home. When you're home, you're usually hungover or sleeping. So you're not doing much then. And when you go out, drinks used to be cheap as... when you work in the hospo industry... You meet other hospo people. You don't really pay anywhere when you go out. Like, you're going out to places, you know people, and that's why it's easy to get caught up in that fuckery that's hospitality, though.
Yeah.
Which is, it gets everyone at some point. You'd be a victim to it, but it's how quick you pull yourself out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it can be a fucking... I don't know if baking's the same, but I know chefs in general, they can get into some fucking dark places.
Yeah, there's some bakers out there that like everyone knows, like they just don't employ them.
It's a fucking hard job, man. It wouldn't surprise me if meth and shit's big in fucking baking because of the hours on the lower end of bakeries.
Maybe back when you could afford that sort of shit. But now, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you don't. It's not. It doesn't seem like that's as common with young kids anymore. Anyway, like that sort of lifestyle.
No.
But they've just gotten a bit softer, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'd go out on the Terps, New York Bar and Grill. I'll start working in an hour, and you'd just go straight to work. And that's just what you did. Now they're like, oh no, I'm not going to go to work.
I remember after...
I'd rather be sent home for coming into work.
Yeah, exactly. You'd rather get sent home than you'll cop it for like maybe 2 or 3 days. You'll cop it hiding every day from whoever's in charge. But at least you came in. But I remember after a Future Music Festival one year, I went straight from HQ to work.
Yep.
Like, straight from there.
Yeah.
And I was fucked.
Yeah.
But luckily my head chef we used to go out together sometimes, but he'd set me up. He'd be like, oh, let's do this and this and this, and we get really fucked up, and I'd be like, I gotta go home, man. Like,
we gotta go to work.
I gotta go to work. And he's like, no, you'll be fine. And then I'd rock up hungover or something. He'd be like, you fucking hungover? I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, he's like, you don't act like you're hungover. Just get over it. And that's where you learn how to do that shit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we could do that back then. Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it anymore.
Oh, I couldn't do it anymore. I went to the Souls of Mischief show a couple of weeks ago and went straight to work after that. I'm like, fuck.
Do you still get a bit loosey-goosey every now and then?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
A rap show's the one that gets you the most?
Oh, yeah, it was good. I hadn't been to a hip-hop show in years. So
you go out to eat a lot too, I always see on your...
Yeah, I like to, see what's going on around in Adelaide with good food and stuff like that.
You go out to eat nice restaurants pretty frequently?
Yeah, at least every weekend.
What's your favourite spot you've been to? As of late,
I don't mind my Italian, Osteria Oggi.
I went to Osteria Oggi for the first time like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
it's fucking nice.
Yeah,
it's a good vibe.
It's good. What else? Sonny's
Pizza?
Nah, Mr. Chan's.
No.
On Prospect Road.
Nice.
The best Chinese you will find.
Really?
In Adelaide.
Like authentic Chinese.
Yeah, but it burnt down a year and a half ago. So that's sort of where...
called Mr. Chen's?
So Mr. Chan's was the restaurant part of it.
Yeah.
And then next door to it, they had Sonny's, which was the takeaway side. So they had two businesses running from the one place, which is sort of where I got the idea for Banana Boogie with the pie god and deep fried vanilla. So last year or the year before, it burnt down the whole thing, and they've only just reopened. And I went there last weekend. Amazing.
So it's called Mr. Chan's on Prospect Road.
On Prospect Road.
And it's more traditional Chinese, or
Chinese, yeah. It's fusion sort of stuff. Pad thais. That first place I'd had cheeseburger spring rolls.
Oh, how fucking good are they?
Yeah, they're fucking the bomb. So yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking delicious. Yeah, I got to go there. I love China. Asian food's more my thing.
Yeah.
Asian food's more my thing. Do you do any kind of Asian inspired?
Not really.
Do
a bit of stuff with some pandan lately.
Like custard and shit?
Custard, pandan. I made a pandan slice the other day, like a hedgehog slice.
Oh, that would be fucking delicious. How about a vanilla slice with pandan in replace of vanilla would be nice because it's a similar flavour profile.
It's got that real nice.
It's just probably a bit lighter than vanilla even.
Yeah, so a bit of pandan lately. I'm always looking for different flavours and shit like that. And we did like a Biscoff chicken pie once. And even though that's
a Biscoff chicken pie.
Yeah, so even though it's sweet, it still worked well, sort of like a satay with the chicken.
Like you made like a gravy with the Biscoff?
With the Biscoff, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Crunchy or smooth?
Crunchy.
Really? Yeah. That's a fucking bold move, eh?
Yeah, it was... we did it, and that's probably one pie that was like, it was the pie
not for everyone.
Yeah, it was either you like, yeah, that's fucking wicked, or you're like, oh, that's fucking shit.
See, in my older age, I like shit like that. If you gave that to me when I was like in kitchens and I was a bit of a cunt, I would have been like, nah, not for me. But as I get older, because I never used to have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like the last 5 years, I've just been like, fuck, I enjoy sweet, like disgustingly sweet things sometimes.
No, I'm the other way.
But
I'm savoury.
But I always will be savoury, but I actually enjoy sweet food now, which I never used to.
Yeah.
I never got the chance to try your vanilla slice.
Oh, really? Some people say they're pretty good.
I've heard.
If we were open today, I would have brought you some.
I made one of... Oh, you close Sundays?
Close Sundays.
God's Day.
God's Day.
You always close Sunday?
We always have, but I've always got to go up there and do shit on it. Like I was up there today feeding the mum for the sourdoughs and doing donuts and shit. The amount of cars that drove through, it's...
Do you like baking bread? Because it's very different.
Yeah, I love baking sourdough. Yeah, sourdough. We don't do like the white sandwich bread, but we do sourdough.
That's what I mean by bread. Yeah, you like so you enjoy
fermenting it overnight and doing all that fancy.
We used to do a heap of sourdough at We used to have in Sydney. I worked at this resort called Walgan Valley. Emirates owned it. It's in the Blue Mountains, in the base of it.
Yeah,
it was like $5,000 a night to go. It was fucking insane.
Yeah,
there was no rooms. It was all private lofts. It was only like 60 guests or 50 guests at one time, and the menu changed every day. And we used to have a mother. I think the mother was gone for like 4 years. It was a pretty new restaurant though. We used to let it ferment in the garden because we had gardens and the temperature was perfect for it outside.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to just let it ferment in the garden. If we were running off time and we needed more mother in it, we'd put it in the garden and the yeast and shit and it'd make it go crazy.
Yeah.
But how long's your start? Do you keep them?
Yep, so we've got the mother that's probably like 100 years old or something like that.
Really?
And even when we close down
what do you mean?
Christmas, we'll put the mother into the... Because you're just adding flour and water to the mother every day.
How long did you say that mother's been going?
Well, the person I got it from said that had come from Italy or something like that.
Really?
So they're like, this is like 100-year-old fucking sourdough, whether it is or it's not. Well,
that's insane though. I remember at Jolly's we had a master stock that was going for like it was going for decades.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Like you just
adding that little bit.
You just can't replicate that flavour ever. Yeah. Like you can't. You can get it nice at home. It's just not. It's missing so much.
I was reading something the other day, or something like Jolly Rancher or something like that. The lollies in America.
They have a starter.
They have like where they purge the end of the last batch that goes into the next batch. So if they're 100 years old, the lolly now still has lolly from.
Well, it's like using a nice seasoned pan like that you've used for fucking years. Shit just doesn't cook on other pans as good as that pan.
Yeah.
It's because it's seen some shit. Like it's got some story to tell. But bread used to fucking... I used to not mind making bread because in Sydney we used to have to wake up at like 2 a.m. if we were on breakfast and lunch shift, and we'd have to get in our golf buggy and drive in minus fucking 11 degree weather to the resort in like fucking in pitch dark, and we used to have to make bread, and it's actually really relaxing if it's going right.
Yeah.
But when we're not bakers, so like shit goes wrong for us sometimes. But for you, it would be like clockwork.
Easy. Get it out, mold it up, tray it up.
Do you have a wood oven at home?
I've got like a little Kamado Joe wooden thing that I got just before Christmas, and I fucking use it every day of the week.
You should get
burgers,
a proper
fucking brisket, everything.
If you got room for a wood oven, I would fucking highly recommend you get. You'd open up a new business in the next.
Well, the bakery down the road from us had wood ovens, and it just got out of hand with how hot it was in there. So
it's insane.
He got rid of them and ended up getting convention ovens.
Bread in a fucking wood oven, though.
Bread in a wood oven.
There's just something about it. But
Yeah.
it's, like you said, it's a labour of love. Like, it's so much more work.
Yeah. Even just cooking burgers in, like, the Kamado Joe with the smoke and shit.
They're the tabletop ones, aren't they?
They're like a big orange egg sort of thing.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. They sell them at Bunnings.
Bunnings and shit, yeah. So I've been using one of them for the last, month and a half, and they're amazing.
Bunnings got, at the moment, my mate sent it to me, $199. You know those uni things? The little tabletop pizza ovens?
Yeah.
Like, you can fit one pizza in,
One pizza.
and it's like a fucking proper wood oven, but it's just made for one pizza.
Yeah.
And it runs off gas.
Like
They got
Gosney, yeah.
the Gosneys. They got knockoffs at Bunnings for $200, and they're insane apparently.
Well, these Kamado Joes, you can lift it up and put like a pizza oven thing in there, so it has
The pizza stone.
Yeah, the pizza stone in there. So
Have you done much work with pizza dough?
well, our sourdough is fucking absolutely. While we were closed, I was buying pizza dough from other places and trying to find it. It was all soft and stuff like that. As soon as we got back to work and I started using my sourdough as pizza dough, fucking amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, we're probably going to start selling it up there. Just
I was going to say you should sell like 220 or 180 gram balls.
pick up a slice once it's been baked.
Oh, you're going to sell pizzas?
No.
Or
Sell
just
the dough, but when I've been
yeah.
doing it at home, the dough just hold. You know when they don't sag
Yeah.
and shit like that, and they're real stiff.
When I was over in Europe, a hell popular late night drunk food is like New York style slices. Every like food van there's always like 4 food vans that do just massive slices.
Yeah.
There is no one in Adelaide that does that, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Then they would just reheat it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all pre-made, and then they just slap it in an oven for like a minute.
Yeah.
And
Get
it's
hot.
the nicest fucking pizza you'll ever eat. It's insane.
They're those long slices that you just roll
Like,
up.
I imagine they're like 18 to 24 inch
Yeah.
like pizzas, and they probably just cut them into like 8 slices.
Yeah, I love my pizzas. I was a pizza maker when I was a baker, working night times as well. I even went down to Kimben Park, where all the Italians are there, and I would have Italians come in and say, "Can Jason make my pizza for me?"
Yeah.
Is that like none of that Aussie shit with just shit everywhere?
I love a good pizza, like a good wood oven.
And I lost my license, and my boss was ringing me. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? I'll pay you more money. You've got to come back. So
Yeah, I absolutely love pizza.
making pizza is a real art to it. Like, people don't realise.
Neapolitan style pizza.
Yeah.
The dough takes fucking years. You can find a good recipe, but like it just takes years because the temperatures of the dough and
Yeah.
I follow this dude on Instagram called, I think his name's Pizza Gabriel.
Yeah.
A lot of Italians would fucking hate his page because he does some weird shit with like he'll make a pumpkin based nap sauce and put like fresh garden vegetables on it with some goat cheese. Like he does some shit that not a lot of Italians would appreciate. But his dough is fucking insane. Like the layers in it and the crust is insane.
Yeah, I love that shit. I cut my pizzas up, looking at the bubbles,
Looking at the bubbles
of the dough and shit like that.
Do you make croissants?
No,
You don't?
I started off as a baker making croissants, so I fucking hate making them.
They're the biggest. I remember when I went to trade school, I was like, that's when I realised I did not want anything to do with fucking baking. I thought, this is
Croissants
just
is like a
bullshit.
mix between puff pastry and like bundo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
But just the time and the fucking, like, you got to laminate it and then
Laminate it,
fold
fold
it.
it.
You got to remember where you fucking folded it
I've done
last.
2 folds or 3 folds.
It's just too much fucking effort. There is some spots I've seen in Melbourne. In Adelaide, I'm probably sure there's amazing places too. But
There's a couple of good croissant places, but you got Loon in Melbourne. That's massive.
that's the one.
I went there last year.
Worth it? Because that's got a line. It's a croissant.
It's a croissant.
It's a nice croissant.
It's a nice croissant. It's not like, oh, holy shit, that just blew my socks off. That's the best croissant I've ever had in my life. It's like,
It's a croissant.
Yeah.
There's this one deli because delis are fucking huge now in
Yeah.
Adelaide. It's actually to the point it's kind of annoying that everyone's just opening up a fucking sandwich shop. Like everyone.
Yeah.
But there are some really nice ones. But there's this one in Italy, and they don't use focaccia bread. It's like it's like the most famous one in the world.
Is that like the long...
It's rectangular, and it looks like a focaccia bread, but it's a lot thinner. It's not as puffy.
Yep.
I don't know.
I know the one, yeah.
But
my chef who started at Banana Boogie, he went there end of last year.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's very easy to find on the internet. If you type in world's most famous deli, But they got.
I think they've got 2 of them on the same strip
Oh,
or something because
bro.
they're that fucking busy.
There's this one that they were doing with like just burrata on the bottom, with just fresh shaved prosciutto and figs, like seasonal figs with some honey on top. And I was like, so that's just the nicest food you'll ever eat in your fucking life. And it's just 4 things.
Yeah.
And I bet that bread is just amazing.
Yeah.
Because over there, everything's in the wood oven, and it's just like, and they've only done the same thing for like 50 years.
Yeah.
That's when you know people are good.
Yeah. Because they just keep doing the same thing and it's selling continuously. So why change something that's...
That's like when I went to Japan. When you go to the bakeries in Japan, you're like, they're not even on the same level with, like, and no one's on Japanese people level with baking.
But
like no one.
We're going end of this year. I've never been to Japan before.
Man, you're gonna fucking... I'm so jealous of it. At the end of the year.
Yeah, about October, I reckon.
So it's gonna be snowing.
It's gonna be snowing. Yeah, I've never been overseas, so.
Oh, bro, you picked the worst thing about going to Japan is coming back.
Yeah.
Honestly,
because I'm into my sneakers, my records, food, everything.
You're gonna find what size are you though?
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
Are you like 13,
size 12?
12?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be stretching it.
Yeah.
But
my best mate, his wife's Japanese, and he lived in Japan teaching English to kids. And yeah, he's always kept saying to me, "Come over and visit. Come over and visit." I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm working," and I regret it so much.
How have you heard of Atmos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Atmos for the first time in Japan, and I looked at my missus and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy another suitcase down the road right now. Because they're so cheap.
Yeah,
they're so cheap, and they got Japan exclusives. Like I got 2 or 3 pairs of TNs that were just Japan exclusives.
Yeah.
And they're like $160.
Yeah.
And what the fuck, dude?
When did you go?
I went last June or July.
Yep.
Oh, the food over there.
Yeah, I can't wait for the food.
The 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like just their 7-Elevens that are everywhere. You can go there and spend $4 or $5, and the meals are better than anywhere you'll eat. Like it's insane, the quality and just the freshness, and the bakeries. It's like how do you fucking do that?
Yeah,
like it's just crazy over there.
It's on another level from that bread top stuff.
See, even bread top is so nice, but that's on such a low level compared to like just because obviously in Japan, it's a massive culture and you don't have a choice. You do what your dad used to do. If you're a male, or like if you're a female and we have a shop.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're taking over that shop, and your sister is, and then your daughter is. It's not weird for a business to be like 500 years old in Japan and serve the same thing, same recipe, everything, and they've just perfected it a little bit more than the last generation, which is something in Australia we don't really have as much, I guess.
No, I think maybe because we're so young. Like I know a few other bakeries in Adelaide where second generation's coming through, and the parents had a good bakery, but that second generation, the brother and the sister have taken it to another level and made it even better.
Or it goes the other way.
And they're not as good as their parents, and it just fucking falls.
That's another thing with like Australian culture. A lot of the times, not a lot, but you'll see like businesses get taken over by the kids. One of the kids will end up being drug fucked, or there'll be an argument internally, and it's just never the same, and it ruins it it just ruins it. Which is a common thing to happen with generational businesses in Australia for some reason.
If my daughter says I don't want to take over Banana Boogie, well, that's fine.
That's your thing.
That's my thing. We'll find a buyer for Banana Boogie, and she does her thing. I think that's where it fails sometimes, because they expect the children to continue what's been going on.
You'll probably be able to run that pretty autonomously, like get it to run itself almost in the future, or do you reckon you always want to have your...
I think if it comes to the time where I want to step away, that's when it's time to sell it, say goodbye. Like, I love being in there and doing the baking every day and looking at what I'm making and having fun doing that, as we're, it's, yeah.
You still enjoy it.
It's just, if I'm not doing that in the bakery, then what's the point of being there? You know what I mean? Then it's just me making money off of other people doing shit for me, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it'll be... I've always said to the missus, 50. If the daughter wants to take it over, we're out of here.
How old are you now?
44.
6 years. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I said that's...
If you can retire at 50 and not have to work, or just have to work enough so
Enough
you don't
to
go
have
insane?
a bit of play money and
Just
stuff
so
like
you
that,
don't go. If you can do that, everyone should do that.
Yeah.
Because after 50, fucking who knows?
Who knows? It's
Like it's
you die at 60 or something. You're like, fuck, I'm still working at that.
yeah, it's just not a way to like. You want to ideally set yourself up so at 50 you can take your foot completely off the pedal and just fucking go buy a van and travel.
That's exactly right.
Do you get much? Do you try and aim for like 2-3 weeks holidays per year?
So we shut the bakery from Christmas Eve until normally about the 14th of January.
That's pretty good.
Every year. So all the staff, everyone just has a couple of weeks off. We'll reset, come back in for the next year.
But throughout the year, you don't really fuck around with too many holidays.
I can't. The only time I get a holiday is when we're like, oh, we're going to Melbourne we're going to Shepparton 2 weeks for a baking comp. I might spend 1 day in Melbourne before we come home or something like that. So it is what it is. You're sort of sacrificing all that sort of shit to go, what's the bigger picture? And, if I'm going to retire in 6 years, well, I'm going to be doing European boat trips and just shit like that, So, yeah, I can't do that now, but...
When you do retire or take your foot off the pedal, do you have anywhere in particular you can't wait to fucking go to?
Yeah. So we're going to go to Melbourne and just live in a service department there and just go to the footy every weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
just fucking... That's the dream.
That's the Aussie dream.
That's the Aussie dream. Just go to Melbourne, not have to fucking worry, go to cafe every morning, have a coffee, go for a walk.
In the heart of Melbourne.
In the heart of Melbourne, like... Walk downstairs and I'm on Collins Street or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just live in Melbourne for the footy season, then come
have
home.
someone come clean your shit for
come
you
clean
when you're
your
out.
shit. Just
So
like living in a
massive,
hotel.
You're a massive footy dude.
Not huge, but I enjoy it, and it's something I'm sort of like, well,
Who do you support?
Crows. So I can't really do too much now because of how busy I am. So I'm like, well, that's something I look forward to.
That would. I fucking personally wouldn't move to Melbourne because the busyness. I love Melbourne for like a week. I love Melbourne for a week. But like living there would fucking be just crazy.
Yeah, I think because I haven't travelled a lot and been to a lot of places, I sort of love
you
that.
Like the busy.
I love
You're going to love
busy.
Japan.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to love Japan. It's just cunts everywhere. So.
But the Melbourne's food scene is just... It has to be one of the best in the world.
I reckon Adelaide's catching up.
Adelaide's food scene is amazing now.
And like they say, if you can run a food business in Adelaide, you can do that anywhere and be successful. You can do that anywhere. Like I got friends in Sydney and that. They're like, you open a Banana Boogie in Sydney, it'll just go crazy because they don't have anything like that. And you sort of think, well, fuck, like they've got like 10 times the amount of population we do here. I could probably get in and get out and retire a lot quicker over there. So
do you get stressed out about, like, say, have you ever thought about opening up a second branch and don't want to reach your hand where it won't? Does that... Because I feel like a lot when you'll see it with businesses that are open for a year, then they try and open 4 more stores. And there's like, mate, you haven't even perfected your first business yet.
Well, we had Banana Boogie from 2015. We opened up the second Banana Boogie 2021. And we had that going for 3 years. That was good, but... I just couldn't get any bakers.
Was that during COVID?
During COVID, yeah. So we got a cheap shop in Plimpton, so rent's like $400 a week or something like that. So, yeah, when we brought Raw Bliss, we turned that store into Raw Bliss, and now we've gone back to putting Banana Boogie down there.
Yeah. So you do have 2?
So we do have 2.
Yeah.
So
2's enough, though, once you're established.
But even now, I'm like, once that rent's done there, we're done. I'd rather focus on...
The one.
Like what we've got going with Pie God and shit on 2 different days, and then I'm like, okay, well, we've got the breakfast menu starting up next week, so I can...
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. I didn't know if you wanted to mention that or not. Have you advertised? I haven't
advertised it, so we're going to do a week of soft opening, and then we're going to advertise it the week after, just so Chef can find his feet and stuff like that.
Do you have like a proper like kitchen area?
Yeah, we just set one up this week. Got some new stoves, new griddles, and everything.
And what kind of breakfast will it be? Pretty conventional breakfast?
So we got like quesadilla, Mexican quesadilla breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, we got smashed avo, all the normal stuff. So we're probably going to run that for 6 months, and then the chef will, once he's found his feet, he'll start expanding and getting creative and stuff like that.
Do you do breakfast pie?
Yes, we do a breakfast pie. Yes. Yeah. So it's got steak meat, baked beans.
You put steak in it. That's nice.
Barbecue sauce, and then a couple of hash browns on top with some cheese and bacon. As the lid, yeah. We used to put one big hash brown on top, We found these like little tiny ones.
Yeah, killer.
So they sit on top of it.
The little square ones.
No, little round ones. And it looks really fancy, like when you do the pie. So.
Did you do a Ned Kelly pie?
No, we used to do.
What the fuck is a Ned Kelly pie?
It's just the
Bacon.
same as that.
It's
but
the same,
You
isn't
put
it?
a fucking egg on top.
Yeah.
We used to call it the protein pie.
What's your favourite pie?
We do a chicken and leek.
Chicken and leek.
Chicken leek with mushroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a real nice creamy sauce.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We also do a Tuscan chicken pie, which is top notch.
Is that just like a nap
green,
sauce?
Green olives with semi-sun-dried tomato.
Get fucked.
Basil. Yeah.
When I came in, everyone was running off their fucking feet getting ready for that competition. I chose the worst day to do that fucking competition, dude. I walked into Para Hills Bakery the second they opened almost. I went there like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. to try and fucking beat the traffic.
Yeah.
And when I walked in, they were like... they didn't obviously expect anyone to come in that early.
Yeah.
But everyone does take that seriously. But that's what's good about it. Like... Everyone takes that shit really seriously, which is good.
I've always said they need a TV show following around different bakeries in Australia with the stress and shit. Like, it's like
Pie
a grand
Wars.
final, like Pie Wars, like just following each bakery, what goes on, you
Dude,
know.
that'd be fucking dope.
Because we have to pack the pies in containers and put them in bags and, you know what I mean, put them in things, get on the plane. You're watching your pies go through the metal detector and then they fall over and you're like, oh, fuck, just, yeah. Like, get this shit right.
Oh, so you just bake them in Adelaide.
Bake them in Adelaide and then you fly your shit around. Like, so in
That's
2 weeks.
hard because then it's not as good. I guess it's still good, but it's not as how would they tell if the pastry's good? Wouldn't it get soggy?
Nah, it's pretty much the same. Like, yeah, unless you actually live in the middle of Melbourne or Sydney for these competitions where they are, it's
a bit of an upper hand.
It's a bit of we won best gourmet pie in Australia with the pulled pork pie one year.
It was fucking nice.
That was when COVID was on and we couldn't fly to Melbourne, so we had to send them over frozen. But
they reheated it.
And they reheated it, and we still managed to win best gourmet in Australia.
They obviously take that into account too.
They do take that into consideration.
So in the morning you go there. All of your obviously, do you have like set days for like this day I'm going to make all my fillings. Next day I'm going to make all my.
Nah, it's just go. I like having shit as fresh as possible.
Daily.
So we make like I'll walk in like I've been in today. I looked in the cool room. What do we got to make? That's what we. So some bakeries will stock up for ages, like a good week, because shit will last in the cool room for a week. But I'd rather just keep making it fresh. Like people will see me come out with trays of sausage rolls straight from the oven, straight into the pie warmer. I mean, there's no cooling down, heating up, or anything like that. So when they're getting them, they're fresh from the oven.
I've always wondered how bakeries do it because a good bakery does have like a fair big selection of items.
Yeah.
And
So normally you'd bake during the day, pack them into the cool room, and then heat them up into the pie warmer the next day.
Yes.
Unless, like for me, I try and keep that minimal, so
It's
getting
oven to customer.
It's oven to customer because that experience is something else. You know what I mean? A fresh pie from the oven compared to a pie that's been cooled down and heated up again, chalk and cheese.
Do you follow that Piney guy?
Yes.
Is he Piney? Is that his name?
Piney, yes.
He posts some fucking pies.
Yes.
I don't know. He goes to some spots that.
He travels all around Australia, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he does for work, but I messaged him once, and he lives in like Noosa or something.
Noosa, yeah. He actually does a bit of scouting for the NRL.
Really?
Yeah, that's what his job is.
Yeah, right.
So that's why he's travelling
He
so
obviously
much.
travels
a lot. And yeah, he came up
gave
to the
you a
bakery.
really good review.
Yeah, he's a really nice dude. Came up one day and had a chat with him and reviewed our pie. We got a pretty high score on it. So.
I've never really had a gun pie outside of Adelaide because all the bakeries I go to just by chance are never that good. I think you got to really search for bakeries.
If you go to Melbourne, you got to go to country, rural.
I'm going to Melbourne in
Country Cob Bakery. They win fucking everything pie-wise.
But in the CBD, there's not much going on.
Nah. When just before COVID happened, we were going to sell Banana Boogie, and we were going to open up a pie shop in the middle of Melbourne.
In the CBD?
In the CBD, but fucking thank God we didn't.
That would have been a travesty. Imagine that. Yeah. Just one mistake like that, and everything's fucking gone.
I think when we were looking, it was 6 months later, COVID came through, and I'm like, holy fuck, lucky. Because when COVID hit,
everything was done in Melbourne.
Yeah, but in Adelaide, we kept going the whole way through.
It would be sick to be there's like a hell romanticism with country bakeries.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like any bakery you go to in the country, even if it's shit, it's good.
It's still good.
It's still because you're in the country.
You're not expecting that quality top tier shit that you get in Metro.
Like Yankalilla Bakery and stuff, they're nice bakeries. They're not fucking the best bakeries in the world, but they just use it's a normal Kranksky and shit, and it's like, but it's so much nicer when you're eating it in Yankalilla.
Yeah.
Same as I actually haven't been to Kangarilla Bakery, but apparently that's nice too.
Kangarilla? No, I haven't been down there.
There's one on the main strip, I think.
No, I'm pretty fierce with my opinions of some other bakeries in Adelaide. So
you are?
Yeah, I always try, and I always So
well, a lot of them just don't like bakery. Also, a bakery on O'Connell's not a nice bakery. I don't.
There's
feel like.
one in Adelaide that is classified as everybody's top tier favourite bakery in Adelaide, and I went down a couple of years ago and got an array of treats.
Can you say what end of Adelaide? You don't have to say the name.
Deep south.
Deep south.
Deep.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I was like, okay, yeah, it's okay, but it's not like, you get a pie in a foil, you're in for drama.
Really? Because they don't want the bottom to fall through?
If you're fucking baking pies in foils, wrong.
So what do you bake them in, like
pie trays,
a pie tray,
so
like similar to a muffin tray?
You take you could drive my pie down Old Belair Road and eat it and not have shit go everywhere.
That is such a... Do you know why I fucking hate eating gyros? I hate eating pies, and I hate eating, like, monstrosity burgers, because nothing ruins my personal eating experience more than when I bite into something and shit just goes everywhere. Fucking everywhere. Like, your crust doesn't even fall. Yeah. Like, you have a flaky crust, but it's not dry.
Yeah, it's still got
moisture, so it doesn't fucking crumble all over you.
Yeah.
Like when you eat a Villiers pie, it's not flaky, it's dry.
That's like someone the other day posted up, they were comparing a Banana Boogie vanilla slice to a Villiers vanilla slice.
Fucked.
And like on the photo, I'm like, holy fuck, that pastry's like fucking hasn't even been in the oven.
Like if you're in a pinch, you wouldn't even class that as what's on the bottom of a vanilla slice? Short crust?
No, that's puff pastry. Same as the pasty.
But you can't, like a Villiers slice, it's like, it is what it is. You get it on the way to work, it's sweet, it's pretty smooth, it's not like... you can't compare them.
It's like, we used to stop there on the way home from hip hop shows at Villiers at fucking Cafe de Villiers at 3 a.m, fucking smash 4 pies because you're paro. Well, yeah, that's cool, but
chips, cheese and gravy. Chips, cheese and gravy, or marinated chicken at Villiers at 4 a.m. in the morning. Nothing hits better than that.
Yeah, so they've got their purpose, so.
Yeah, but comparing it, that's fucking blasphemy.
But then trying to compare it, it's like, okay.
That is blasphemy.
But it is good because it does give... oh wow, this is really bad compared to something that is top tier,
That's like when Adam from Westside Mushies was talking about mushrooms. You never notice it until someone says it. Like, he's like, go into Woolies and shit and just look at their mushrooms. They're off. Like, they've got mold on them and shit, and fucking they sell them for like $16 for 100 grams.
Yeah.
It's insane. Today I went into Drake's and went to go get some chives, and they were like, they actually were off. Like they were black and they were sticking to the fucking lid, and it's like, people will buy that shit because they don't know better.
They
don't know better. It's insane. But you obviously source all your ingredients fresh and shit as well?
Yeah, we've got the same fruit and veg guy that we've been using since we took over the bakery.
And you make all of your own fillings, everything?
All our own pie fillings. It's all from scratch. Cook the meat, add the spices.
What other sweets do you do besides vanilla?
Do donuts and finger buns and...
I'm not a fucking massive fan of like donuts and shit.
We do some like loaded donuts and loaded vanilla slices.
I fucking do you know what I do? Like, I love honey log.
Yeah, honey sticks.
Honey fucking sticks are where it's at.
Kitchener buns are dope.
Kitchener buns are nice.
Yeah.
But a nice vanilla snot, or when you were saying before that you were playing around with maybe pandan.
Pandan, yeah.
A pandan fucking slice would be so nice.
Pandan snot block.
That'd be fucking nice.
Yeah.
When you mix it with the cream, are you using like an extract or actual pandan leaves?
No, we're using like a pandan extract.
Does it turn it a bit green?
It turns it green,
yeah, that'd be fucking nice.
So the slice I've got that I'm going to do tomorrow will have a nice chocolate layer on it, and then some like coconut. So the coconut with the...
Hey, is it a set custard or do you bake it?
No, it's a cold set custard.
Your vanilla slice?
Yeah, so all the ones that you get that people are like, they're really rubbery. They're the ones... They're heated up with a starch.
Alright.
and ours is a cold
And it's
set.
more like gelatine.
It's more gelatiny, and everyone's like, I don't like vanilla slices. But then when they have one of ours, they're like, holy shit.
more custardy.
It's more custody. It's smooth.
So it's just cold set.
Cold set custard.
That's probably why your pastries obviously stays really firm.
Really nice, yeah. And then if you go to bakeries and you get because there's always the whole fondant or fudge icing. You know how you get like the
white or
the white icing with the coconut and shit
Yeah.
like that. So if you see that on a vanilla slice, that could be up to 3 days old.
Really?
Because the fondant that like we use, after a day, that just goes runny and it just looks like shit and melts. As where the other icing on there, you can put that on, that's going to look killer in the fridge for at least 3 to 4 days. So that's always a way to tell.
Yeah, but with bakeries, like you said, it's so fucking important to be... You can be an average bakery, but if your shit's always fresh, it's going to be better than 75 to 80% of people in Adelaide.
You just got to keep fresh.
As long as you keep it fresh. But not, and for, I don't know what I imagine your stock's gone crazy as well. I know with us, just the price of vegetables alone fucking now.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I used to get fruit and veg delivery once a week for $200. That same delivery now is going to be at least $450, $500.
That's
at least.
insane. And your meat products, and I don't know about flours.
Meat's been pretty good. Flours goes up. Sugar went up 25% last year, and they reckon it's going to go up again.
See, people think, oh, it's 25%. Like, what the fuck's that? But when you're buying like 100 kilos of the cunt a week, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It all
That's
adds
a lot.
up, and you're like, shit.
That's like if someone's never had a business and say a stock item goes from being $10 a kilo to $15 a kilo, if you're getting 100 kilos of that a week, that's $500 a week.
A week on top.
That's $2,000 a month. That's fucking $24,000 a year. That's a staff member that you've just had to fucking fire. Because like if you're not busy, that's a staff member.
Or you've got to put your prices up, and you've got to be mindful of what other people are doing too.
Yeah, but you can't put your prices up too much because then fucking
no one will buy it.
The 73-year-old that's been coming in for 2 years will fucking crack the shits and never come back. Like it's just a massive fucking ride.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and people will pay it and they'll complain, and you see, oh, is that right? But it's like,
they get used to it. But people who've never worked in hospitality, everyone should fucking do a mandatory year in hospitality.
Yeah, well, that's like why a lot of chefs and bakers are the way they are. Because the way that kitchens run, we're like, well, why the fuck can't the rest of the world run like this all the time? Like you're like,
especially a good one.
A good kitchen
when they
or
run
bakery runs smoothly. Like you should implement this shit in your everyday life to live. But yeah,
it's one sec. I'm just gonna grab. Do you want another drink?
No,
you're good. I'll be back. But yeah, like you were saying, when you look at like just how other businesses are run, especially when like I know people that work in office jobs and they're like, oh, I'm just not feeling, I can't be fucked today, I'm just gonna call in sick. It's like, oh, why would you, like in my head I'm like, that's just fucking crazy. Like, but in office jobs you can do that because there's always someone to pick up the slack. But like
small business,
I never rung in sick. Like last time I didn't go in was when I had COVID and I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah. Like, I've worked in big factories and shit like that where there's always someone else to come in to cover you. And it's like, well, fuck it.
It'd be kind of nice though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But when you work in small business, you're like, shit, like, there is no one else to cover me, so I better go in.
I've never, ever in my life done anything except food. Ever.
Yeah. Either have I. Never, no carpet laying, no shit.
I've just never worked
no
at...
painting.
I always thought what it would be like to work at like a labour job or something. Like I've always wondered what it's like to work at a job that's more physical than it is mental, because at the end of the day, baking, and especially with what you do, you have to like orchestrate. Timing so important. Like the mental brain work is like, oh, this time I got to make sure the dough's rolled out by this time, and I've got to bake this, but then I got to fucking order with this person to do this, and you got to just somehow manage to get it into a 12-hour period.
And that's the whole thing. Like,
and this cunt just called in sick, and this cunt's having a bad day because his girlfriend fucking cheated on it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just just a load of shit.
Yeah, and you just got to pick up that slack and keep running with it.
But that's what makes the hospitality industry so hard to leave, because you're running on adrenaline for like 7 hours of the day.
Yeah.
And by the time you get home, you're fucking in such a bad mood because you've just been having an adrenaline dump whole day. Then you have a shower, then you fucking
See, I find
chill
myself
out.
getting home from that adrenaline rush and still having that adrenaline rush and like,
Can't
what the
sleep.
fuck can I fucking do at home? All right, well, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And then the missus will get home and like, I'm like, yep, we're going to do wholesale vanilla slices, you know, doing this. And she's like, you just need to fucking slow down, cunt. What is going on? Like,
Did you, with your deep fried vanilla slice, did you have to alter the recipe of it a shitload?
well, I had to come up with we tried a whole heap of different batters and shit to go on the outside.
Is it crumbed or battered?
It's it's like a batter on the outside. We tried to do
Really?
it with like meringue.
Like and torch it?
Yeah, and do it like
Like
that.
a bombed Alaska.
Like that. We tried to do that, and we tried a few different things. But yeah, the recipe we've got now, we even put old pastry crumbed up into the outside of the deep fried area.
But do you have to freeze? I imagine you would have to freeze.
Freeze it. You got to freeze it.
Yeah, that'd be fucking...
Which also helps with any waste of vanilla slices. So
Do you dust it in sugar or anything like that after?
no, we put it with like cream cheese icing and ice cream and chocolate ganache.
Fuck, that sounds bullshit. Are you
Yeah.
going to be operating on Uber? Because I feel like that's going to
No,
be an Uber
but-
fucking delight.
But when my chef starts next week, part of his menu is deep fried vanilla slice every day of the week. So you can come in
And he'll
and he'll
chuck it on for you.
he'll do it for you. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's fucking an Uber item if I've ever heard one. You're not open late enough, though, to get the degenerates.
Yeah, well, I could do it because there is nothing up there, so no one's offering Uber up there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Mm.
Chinese, not the Chinese, the Indian restaurant, and that's it.
That's the only thing... Actually, it's getting a lot better down south food-wise. Like, the food down south it's insanely better than it was 10 years ago. And if you go down to McLaren Vale and stuff, some of the best restaurants in Adelaide.
Yeah.
But we don't have what Prospect and those areas have and the West have. Like, the North and the West, we don't have the cultural diversity down here that they have.
Yeah.
So, like, today I wanted to make this Mexican dish. Can't find ingredients. Like, the closest place is probably Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton Foodland or
Even
Pasadena.
where we live now, like near Parkholme and that, there's an African grocer, there's an Indian
Yeah, you know
grocer.
what I mean?
There's a whole heap, so
It's
you
so
can get
hard.
a lot of that good shit down
That's
there.
the one thing is, like, someone who likes cooking down here, it's just fucking so frustrating. It's like I've got to go to Coles and I've got to make do with fucking this shit. And it's just not nice. The produce is shit. We got Adelaide Fresh, so shout out to Adelaide Fresh. They do nice fruit and
I
veg.
actually used to work at Adelaide Fresh for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I used to work for Dino out the back doing all the Italian bread and stuff.
Fucking Dino.
Fucking Dino, yeah.
The man in the flesh.
Yep. So I did about a year with Dino making the bread.
He's a good man.
He's a good dude, yeah.
He's a good dude. He's living the life of luxury now, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes on some holidays every now and then.
Yeah, him and his sister and his dad and
Good
the whole
people.
family. They're a really good family to work for.
Yeah, right. When did
And
you
then-
work there?
Oh, well, I worked there just before we bought Banana Boogie. It was like Banana Boogie, Adelaide Fresh, straight to Banana Boogie.
He has a massive continental section now.
Yeah, in the Delhi area and that, yeah. Yeah, so I was in a room no bigger than this shed here.
It would have
They-
changed a lot since you've been there, eh? They've
Oh, no.
expanded a heap.
Oh, have they? I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it was a room this size with an oven in it, and I just used to make all the Italian bread.
No shit.
Yeah, all dry proofed with semolina flour. It was killer.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like we don't have any specialty stores down here. We got Asian grocers on South Road now. There's an
Yeah.
Asian grocer on South Road next to Adelaide Fresh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know where KTM used to be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Next.
that's right. I've seen that there, yeah.
It's all right. It's not like the crazy. It's got a lot of good, cool shit, nice Asian veg. But like if you want to cook a Mexican dish or an Indian dish or something like that, just got to make do with what you got
you
down
got.
here. Do you go to the markets much?
Oh, when I got time, I love to go to the markets.
Do you have have you ever done like stalls or food truck or anything? I'm sure that's probably past
When
your
we
mind.
started,
When you
we
started.
were doing the markets and stuff like that. Yeah, we've talked about doing stuff like that because
deep
we're
fried
so
vanilla slice
because
shit
we're
at the
so
fringe.
recognised as a brand now. We could look at doing something like that instead of maybe getting another shop. Going, all right, we're going to get a food van.
Then we can turn it off whenever we like.
Yeah,
Like if we're
Right.
getting swarmed, we can just 6 months not use it, and then we can bring it
And
out.
the gourmet, the pie god thing we've got is just so easily just putting it together to make it is so easy, and we could easily just pull up at one of the festivals and go, here you go. So that is an option for us.
That deep fried vanilla slice fan would fucking go off, I reckon.
Yeah.
Do you just have one flavour?
No, we got 2, Biscoff and traditional, and then we'll do like weird flavors, like I did like a maple and bacon one.
Maple and bacon vanilla slice.
Yeah,
Get
deep fried.
absolutely fucked. Have you ever done a normal one? Like a normal one without deep frying it?
What do you mean?
Maple and bacon.
Yeah. When we used to do loaded vanilla slices every weekend, we'd just do like a normal cold one with bacon and maple syrup on it. Yeah.
Was that insane?
That was insane.
So that's my favourite flavour combination.
That sweet and sour shit.
Oh, I do. But one of my mates has a loaded cookie business.
Yeah.
Does it in his spare time. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
And they're really good. And he does, I don't know, are they called loaded cookies? They're like the ones that are kind of half baked. They're in fashion now. The real massive cookies.
I had some not long ago, and I was just like, "What is this?" It's like
a
fucking raw business. It's like eating flour. I'm like, my missus came home with them, and I'm like, "How much was he?" And she's like, $12. I'm like, "Fucking
yeah, dude,
it's
for
like
one
cookie, you fucking serious?" And it's underbaked, and I can taste the butter.
His aren't like, his are just big cookies. They're not like cakey in the middle. They're fully cooked. They're just chewy. They're nice and like got a nice chew to them. And he made these maple bacon ones, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit good. Yeah. Just the salty with the savoury. I
love that maple.
Do you bring them? Do you have them often?
That's the thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, what's the next flavoured vanilla slice?" I'll just get to work, wake up that day, what's in the bakery, and I'll just
use shit up. Or not use shit up, but just play off it every day.
Okay, let's do this. They sold well last week. It's easy to get creative in the bakery. That's the other thing why I like doing it, because I can just fuck around and do what I want. It's my business, you know.
What about a savoury slice? You ever thought of that? You couldn't do it, could you?
Like a savoury vanilla slice?
Yeah, because the base of it would be too hard to set. Probably, you could do like a cheese, like a Japanese style, like cheese flavoured, like a cheddar.
I imagine doing like a quiche sort of mix,
like an egg mix,
like an egg mix in between the pastry.
Because in Japan and Korea, they have a thing with their cheese desserts are like flavoured like cheese, like they're not. It's not cream cheese, it's like cheddar cheese. Like a cheddar cheese vanilla slice would be one of those ones that people either fucking loved it or they hated it.
Oh, imagine that.
Like a cheddar cheese, like a kind of a, like not too savoury, it's still sweet, but with that cheddar in the background, like sharp cheddar cheese.
Well, we've done a vanilla slice with Coca-Cola in it.
Was that alright?
That wasn't too bad. Done a Fanta one, lemonade. Any liquid, because it's got liquid in the custard mix, you can just replace that with fucking anything. I could do a beer one if I fucking wanted to.
That'd be terrible.
Shit, yeah.
That'd be terrible. But a cheddar cheese one, you can thank me for that. You'd tinker with that one. That's a banger.
Cheese and bacon vanilla slice.
Cheese and bacon, but just still sweet. Still sweet, but with cheddar cheese and candied bacon or something.
Like what you do, like a sweet muffin with cheese and bacon or something like that in there. All right, I'll give it a crack.
I reckon that would work.
It's going to be called the South Special.
Use some bacon grease. Fuck it. Bacon grease whipped cream on top.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I'm going to give it a go.
You give it a go and you tell me. You tell me.
Yeah.
You tell me. But that's... So do you still wake up... Do you obviously still have a massive passion for this?
Yeah, so like... I'll have 5 hours sleep, wake up at 2 in the morning and I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to go. I love doing what I do. There's never a time where I wake up any day of the week, even though I work 7 days a week, all year, I never wake up and go, I don't want to go to work or I don't want to do this.
Would you be able to ever go back to having a boss?
No. I could never have a boss.
Someone poke you in the chest.
Yeah, no.
Hurry the fuck up.
No, I couldn't do it. Maybe when I retire and I just do a bit of work here and there, but it'll be fucking hard. Because even like when I have staff doing shit, it's... I tell them, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
it'd be impossible for you to go to someone's bakery. It would be impossible. You'd be way better off getting out of this line of work completely because you'd never be able to work for another baker.
No.
Because you'd just be conflicting opinions.
Yeah. And that I've seen that. Like
that's not their fault. That's just what they know now. But you're at that age where you're like, I'm not going to fucking relearn how you're doing. Not so much that. It's more like you know enough to...
Well, when we took over Banana Boogie a couple of years after that, a guy that I worked for a bit of cash work back in the early 2000s, he sold his bakery. So he came and worked for me, and it was very conflicting because he thought, and he knew a lot more than me, but it was great to get some of that knowledge of what he was doing in business, you know what I mean? Just
It's good to fill in the cracks that you're not too familiar with.
That's right.
Being a baker and owning a business is fucking two different complete. You can be the best baker in the world, but if you're not business savvy, you're not going to fucking do anything with it.
I'll get someone that used to own the news agency in Blackwood. I know what it's like. I used to own a business. Yeah, you owned a news agency that the papers were delivered every day. You didn't own a bakery. It's chalk and cheese here. Like, I have to make everything we sell every day.
Do you know how many, like...
It's not a clothes store where we would just rock up and open the door and away we go. Like, no, everything is produced fresh daily. Yeah. And people forget about that sometimes, you know.
There's a new spot. I don't know if it's in the city or if it's down Prospect or Norwood or something. It's a massive. I think it's an ice cream place from Melbourne. Is it Messina?
Bodega,
Messina.
Messina. I've seen Messina. I've seen that Bodega or Bottega.
I think it's Messina.
Yeah.
I believe that's like a really legit spot from Melbourne, and they've opened up a premises in Adelaide now.
There was something I saw last week with them opening up, but there are a couple of Adelaide boys.
Are they?
And they started up in Melbourne and Sydney and stuff like that, and they've finally brought it back.
No shit, because I went to a... Fuck, I don't know if it was the Fringe or I went somewhere last year and they had like a little food truck and they had bacon and they have like very strange flavours of ice cream and fuck, it's nice. And I'm not really an ice cream person. Yeah. But are you going to be making, or do you make their own ice cream in-house as well? Do you have an ice cream maker?
No, not yet.
We're going
to though, yeah.
Because it's pretty much, that's just fucking piss weak easy for you. You don't have all the ingredients just laying around. You might as well, and when you home make it, it's 10 times nicer.
Yeah.
Do you have a Paco Jet?
No.
Fuck, that makes the nicest ice cream. It's not feasible for the amounts that you'd probably be doing, but on a smaller scale, there's no machine that makes nicer ice cream than that.
Okay. There's a few floating around, like with the company we buy all our bakery machine with. They have some wicked gelato machines and stuff like that. So I've seen that for the last 2-3 years, and I'm like, that's why everyone's doing gelato businesses, because there's some good machinery out there that's
just literally
cheap.
Pour the mix in.
Just pour the fucking shit in and just fucking put it into a tub.
And it'll be 10 times nicer. Just probably won't have the shelf life, but
so that's all these new places opening up. It's like, they're all getting their machinery from this place, and you invest, 10 grand on a machine. Well, it's easy turnover getting that back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I won't hold you too long because it is a school night. But so everyone knows, just chuck all the dates out of everything that's opening. I'm pretty sure the Vanilla Slice project will all be up and running by the time this comes out.
1st of March.
Yep. This will be out before that.
We're going to have DJs playing on the 2 nights. It'll be liquor license. You can grab a beer or a wine or a spirit. So that's 1st of March. And then we start up breakfast menu at Banana Boogie this Tuesday.
And then Pie God.
And then Pie God will be with Deep Fried on 1st of March.
Oh, so it's a joint.
Or joint thing, yeah, Deep Fried them, yeah.
That's going to be a fucking stressful day for you.
Yeah.
But it's going to work.
I love it though. I love, and you learn from your mistakes. That's the best thing in business, is like doing something wrong, going, what did I do wrong? And then making sure that you do it right the next time.
Do you recommend young people to try and strive to open up their own business?
I was a baker since I left school, and I didn't buy the bakery till 2015, so I was 35, and I think if I'd done it earlier, I probably would have made more dumber, stupid mistakes. I think, 35, 40 is a good... Go learn from another business person what to do before just going, I know what I'm doing.
Don't just learn the trade, learn the business.
Learn the business, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the trouble sometimes. Like, I look back where I did my apprenticeship, and my boss had a boat, he had 2 houses, he had 3 cars, and instead of me going, oh, fuck, I'm just making this cunt rich, I'm like, well, what is this cunt doing to get rich? Well, you know what I mean? He's asleep in the office because he's done the deliveries to the markets, he's done this, he's done that, you know what I mean? He's fucking working his ass off. So I saw that and went, well, if that's what it takes, well, let's go.
Yeah, and they don't teach you fucking tax in school.
They don't teach you any of that shit. My apprentice has just finished school, and I'm like, I'm teaching him shit about tax and, loans and everything like that.
I still don't know how tax works. Yeah. Like, I know enough, but I still don't grasp the concept of it as well as I fucking probably should. Yeah.
In business, but eventually you're like, shit, this is how it works.
If this podcast tomorrow, because I'm monetized now, if this podcast tomorrow gets fucking randomly by chance 10 million views on a video and I make 100 grand on that video, I don't know what to fucking do with the money. Like, I wouldn't, if I transfer it in my account, I'm sure that fucking 50,000 of it's the ATOs.
Yeah, ATOs, yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do with it.
Is that going to add on to your income for the year?
Like,
And then
it's just confusing, and they don't teach, but they teach you how to fucking sew, and they teach you how to do algebra, but they don't teach you how to pay your tax.
Basic. I hate school. I
The school
hate
program.
I hate the school program. If my daughter says to me tomorrow, Dad, that's it. All right. Well, as long as you've got a job, that's fine.
I'd urge
like, if you're into uni and you're going to learn and that's your path that you're heading for, fucking great. But if not, don't waste the school system's time and shit, you know what I mean? If you, obviously, you know, there's two sorts of people. There's workers and there's people that study to learn how to, you know, do stuff like that.
But I know so many people that spent 6 years at uni and they don't have jobs.
And they've just got a debt.
And they're at jobs that are earning not enough money to be studying for 6 years. Like, if you study for 6 years, you want to be earning a minimum $120,000 to $150,000 at minimum.
And like, that's the thing now, is that like a lot of the high end bakers are getting, like, what I pay my bakers is top tier. Like,
it's insane.
It's insane. Like, I know that my apprentice's parents did his tax and they were like, "You're earning more than us, and you're an apprentice fucking baker." And I'm like, well, yeah, like, you've got to recognise where good talent and work is, and you got to pay for that now.
But life's just expensive now. Like, $30 an hour is not what it used to be.
No.
That's minimum fucking wage.
Just minimum wage.
$30 an hour.
Yeah. Even when we bought the business, it was minimum 25.
22 to 25.
So
yeah.
it's gone up quite a bit, you know.
It goes up every year, but yeah, it's a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
No problem.
We will get this out, not next week, the week after this one will come out, because I'm going to upload 2 next week. So this one will be out in just under a fortnight.
Yep.
But I appreciate you coming on.
Killer.
See you, man.